my fairness, my environment, my health care, my tolerance. He doesn't represent any of those.
Demonstrators were out in the streets as two separate protests hit downtown Lexington. What participants of both told us what they hope to accomplish. Families came together in Madison County to send off some of Kentucky's finest as they get ready to deploy overseas. How some Lexington cyclists are using their hobby to help those less fortunate this Thanksgiving.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for watching WKYT. I'm Sean Moody. Our unusually warm fall has come to a little bit of an end as temperatures are dropping across the bluegrass. And it looks like it'll stay chilly overnight. Let's start with meteorologist Jim Caldwell and your no-wait weather forecast.
Yeah, the chill is already showing up out there, Sean. We're now down to 34 degrees here in Lexington, while other locations like Danville and Richmond and Mount Sterling, Frankfort are all at or below freezing now. It's 31 in Frankfort, but 28 in Mount Sterling. And we are going to continue to watch those numbers drop into the overnight hours tonight. You do find some spots across parts of eastern Kentucky that are still in the 30s and 40s above the freezing mark as well. So we're kind of mixed a little bit tonight. There's not much going on as far as precipitation is concerned. It's quiet, no clouds, a clear, calm night across central and eastern Kentucky. One of those nights that just sets you up for that cold factor. As I mentioned, 34 in Lexington, and the feels like temperature is the same. Now, earlier tonight, we were dealing with a bit of a wind chill. So we look through the forecast breakdown. I think we wake up on average around 28 degrees in the morning. By 2 and 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow, we're back into the mid and upper 50s, and then you watch those temperatures drop again. But overall, the trend looks a little bit warmer going into the week with some chilly mornings. I'll break all of that down coming up for you here in about 10 minutes or so.
All right, Jim, thank you. Tonight, two different demonstrations were held in downtown Lexington. The first was held this afternoon in front of Portofino Restaurant. Protesters there said they wanted justice for an alleged assault of a group of African-American girls by a manager of a restaurant. After that, hundreds marched as part of that recent wave of national protests against the election of Donald Trump. Caitlin Sentner was at both events. She has tonight's top story.
We're gonna get ready to move.
It was a night for many voices in downtown Lexington.
No peace!
So this problem is not just a Portofino problem, it's a Lexington problem, it's a United States problem.
Protesters gathered on the sidewalk outside Portofino Restaurant.
One of my friends has a huge laceration on her face.
They say an incident at the restaurant investigated by Lexington police was racially driven. They want a Portofino manager arrested, and they want their voices heard.
Send that racist to jail!
It's beautiful. You know, you don't just see black people here. You see white people. You see older white people. You see younger white people. You see biracial people. You see all types of people. And it just lets you know that we're not the only people who care about our lives. There are other people who care about our lives.
Just down the street, people of all walks of life gathered.
We felt as a couple that we should come out and lend our support.
This rally, though, was anti-Trump. It's a trend we've been seeing in cities across the country. People saying they're frustrated and angry with the outcome of the election.
Not my president, my fairness, my environment, my health care, my tolerance. He doesn't represent any of those. And I think that Trump incites and enables people in their hatred.
10 women have accused our 45th president of sexual assault. And that's something that just blew my mind.
A lot of people feel like the Electoral College and some of our more antiquated systems for the presidential election aren't serving us anymore.
Hundreds gathered outside the courthouse holding signs just like these folks. We did spot one person with a Trump-Pence campaign sign.
I imagine as the night goes on, it might get a little bit bigger.
It did, and they took their rally to the streets. We asked what the end goal was.
At this point, we are trying to move forward by having our voices heard to show that there is a solidarity out there.
And I think that people need to be active and to stay active and to stay angry.
In Lexington, Caitlin Sentner for the Fox 56 10 o'clock news.
Both those protests remain peaceful tonight. We have new information tonight about a deadly crash that killed one person and has another facing charges. It happened early yesterday morning on Athens Boonesboro Road at Hayes Boulevard. Police say a car driven by 24-year-old Alexandria Rankin T-boned a truck, killing its driver, 23-year-old Robert Hattler. According to an arrest citation, police say Rankin admitted to drinking alcohol before driving. They also say she failed multiple field sobriety tests, had slurred speech, bloodshot eyes, and a strong smell of alcohol on her breath. Rankin's charged with manslaughter and DUI. She'll be in court on Monday. The nation came together yesterday to honor those who've served in America's armed forces, and today families gathered in Madison County to send off some of Kentucky's finest. There was a departure ceremony at the Armed Forces Reserve Center today in Richmond. 26 members of the 149th Military Engagement Team are set to leave for Fort Hood, Texas tomorrow morning. The team came together earlier this year, and they say they're ready to make a positive impact.
We've done a lot of specialized training. We're eager to learn more about the different cultures and the different militaries.
Those soldiers will spend a few weeks training at Fort Hood before they eventually head out overseas. Police have arrested the second of 2 escapees from an eastern Kentucky detention facility. Last Tuesday, police said Melvin Scott Garland and Justin Arnett climbed through the ceiling of their cell and escaped from the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. Garland surrendered a few days later, and today police arrested Arnett while responding to a domestic disturbance call. He was booked into the Clay County Detention Center this afternoon. New tonight, a scary moment this evening in Lexington after a vehicle crashed into an ambulance. It happened around 8:30 tonight. Police said the ambulance was out on a run when it went into the intersection of Man o' War Boulevard and Richmond Road. A car traveling outbound on Richmond Road failed to yield to the ambulance and ending up hitting it. One of the workers inside the ambulance had minor injuries, but no one else was hurt. Police say they don't expect to press any charges in that crash. Thanksgiving is just 12 days away, and today dozens of cyclists rode to downtown Lexington as well to help those who might be in need this holiday season. Cranksgiving is an informal race that challenges cyclists to deliver food donations as quickly as possible. Sabira Rayford spoke with some of this year's participants in a story that's new at 11.
They're gearing up for a cause.
It's a great way to start your morning.
Cyclists big and small flock downtown for the 8th annual Cranksgiving race.
We just have a good time. It's a way to give back to our community. We live here. We have to be a part of this community, and we have to work towards making it a better place for everyone.
Riders were given a grocery list and a map. On a time limit, the cyclists loaded up items to donate to God's Pantry for their Thanksgiving meal.
It fills, an area that's probably the size of a small bedroom.
Some say it's a good reminder of what the holidays are all about.
To see all the food that's raised and all the food that came via bicycle from everyone else, it's very nice to see the communal effort being put forth by everyone.
It gives you an opportunity to get outside, enjoy the fresh air, get your exercise, and still do something wonderful for your community.
All items donated will be delivered by bike to God's Pantry. In Lexington, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Cranksgiving is an international event that takes place in more than 80 cities all around the world. Bourbon fans lined up by the dozens across Kentucky this morning to get a hold of a rare spirit. That story's just ahead on WKYT.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Well, it's cold out there. We all know that. Temperatures have slipped into the 30s and 20s in some spots already out there tonight with these clear skies and the cold air just filtering in. Let's see what we've got going on with the freeze warning. And this, I'll tell you what, we've had some areas of big white frost. We've already had some temperatures in the 20s. So this should be the last one you see, I'm pretty sure, with freeze warning here tonight. So cold temperatures essentially show up tonight. I took this picture a little bit earlier, and by earlier I think around 7:30-ish. And this was already showing up on top of my car. So that was at 7:30. So I haven't been out in a while, so I hate to see where we're at this point. But the temperatures were already at a level to where we can start seeing some frost. Now, of course, that's a car, and that's going to be a colder, colder surface, so it's easier to get some of that frost to develop. But the rest of us will see just a downright hard freeze into the overnight tonight. We're at 34 in Lexington, 32 Danville and Richmond. So those spots are at freezing. Here in Lexington, we're just above it. But 28 into Mount Sterling with some 40s still holding on in eastern Kentucky. But by tomorrow morning, I think we break out into some more widespread 20s. this might be a little too warm in some locations. We might even be into the mid-20s by this same point at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, 6-7 range. And we're going to sit there for a little while is going to be the thing. So it's going to be hard to get past those very cold numbers. Defender Radar Network, if you are a fan of snow, then you would like to see something on here tonight, especially with those temperatures, because that's what you would be seeing. But we don't have any moisture, and that's been most of fall. We do have a little bit that's going to try to creep into parts of southeastern Kentucky. You see that disturbance? Well, it's going to sling a little bit of moisture in. So with our hour by hour, you can see even into Sunday, you get into Harlan, Letcher, into Bell counties there along the Kentucky, Virginia, or the Kentucky-Tennessee state line where they could run into some rain. This area needs it desperately. We all would like to have a good drink, but they're still dealing with some forest fires in that region. We keep that chance around early on Monday morning as well. And then we're right back to dry for a few days with small rain chances even into the middle parts of the week. Our next big chance will come from this system, a big-time front that's not only going to bring us a rain chance toward Friday, Saturday, maybe even some thunderstorms, but it also will increase our temperatures out ahead of it on Saturday, Friday, Saturday, maybe close to 70 degrees again before we get the coldest air of the season. Tonight is the coldest air so far. Next weekend could be even worse. Here comes our 7-day forecast. You can kind of see what's happening with it when daytime highs are stuck in the 40s there. And I've got 30s as lows at this point because of the timing of everything. But I think when we reveal Sunday and the 7-day tomorrow, you're going to see some impressive cold around here.
Well, I'm just going to keep focusing on that 67.
It'll be fantastic. And I may be underdoing it. We may hit 70 in some spots.
We'll see what happens. Thank you, Jim. A burn ban remains in effect for most of eastern Kentucky with no rain in sight. The threat of fires just continues to grow just as open season kicks off for deer hunting. Officials say hunters need to be vigilant when they're out in the woods. They say you shouldn't go into any areas where there's smoke. And if you're smoking, they say it's important to properly dispose of your cigarette.
And if you're a cigarette smoker, please be extra careful with your cigarette butts. One idea is to take your butts, drown them in a bottle of water, and this ensures that we don't have any fires that are started because of cigarette smoking.
There are nearly 20 uncontrolled fires burning across southeastern Kentucky. Those flames have burned more than 17,000 acres so far. As the temperature gets cooler, it's getting to be time for some winter activities. Just in time, the ice rink at Lexington's Triangle Park in downtown Lexington opened for the season today. The rink is open throughout the week with extended hours on weekdays when Fayette County schools are not in session. It's $12 for an hour and a half out there on the ice, and that rink will be open through the beginning of January. Bourbon fans lined up by the dozens across Kentucky this morning to get a hold of some Pappy Van Winkle. Several liquor barn stores across Kentucky held lotteries for a chance to buy a bottle. The bourbon's already hard to find, and it's gotten even more buzz since several barrels of that popular whiskey were stolen as part of the theft ring back in 2013. The Wildcats run wild but can't get a win in Knoxville. Lee K has those highlights and more next on Game Time.
There is nothing easy about going on the road and trying to get a win in Knoxville. The Wildcats have 32 years of experience to back that up. Kentucky attempting to break a losing streak at Tennessee that dates back to 1984. And early on, the Wildcats had their offense going. On Kentucky's first play from scrimmage, Steven Johnson fools everyone, calls his own number, and races 75 yards, eventually taken down at the 10-yard line. On the very next play, Johnson hands it off to Boom Williams. He weaves his way untouched for 6. Kentucky was on the board first, 7-0. Late in the first, now 10-7 Kentucky, and the Vols take their first lead on a 1-yard touchdown run by Josh Dobbs. 14-10 Volunteers. The Wildcats had a chance to retake the lead on 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, but Benny Snell is tripped up by his own teammate. A huge missed opportunity in the red zone. Wildcats would settle for a field goal. The Vols were trading field goals for touchdowns. Dobbs finds Ethan Wolf to extend the Tennessee lead to 21-13. That was the score at the half. We move to the third quarter now, 28-16 the score. Another costly mistake inside the red zone. Snell putting the ball on the turf, a fumble, and Tennessee recovers. 4 trips inside the red zone without a touchdown for the Wildcats. and the Vols would once again respond with a touchdown, capped off by Alvin Kamara's 17-yard touchdown run to extend the lead to 19. Kentucky's offense did keep battling. JoJo Kemp, back from an injury after missing a pair of games, rumbles here for a 71-yard touchdown. That brought the Cats within 13 after a failed two-point conversion. But once again, Tennessee had the answer, just like they did all day, and many of the times it was the quarterback, Josh Dobbs, knifing his way through the Kentucky defense for a 45-yard score. That put the game out of reach for the Wildcats. Final score 49-36. The Wildcats rushed for 443 yards in the loss, becoming the first FBS school this season to rush for more than 400 yards in a loss. Here's Rob Bromley.
The Cats found out here in Knoxville that Tennessee is a pretty good football team. Kentucky's 635 yards offense, 443 on the ground. But when they got it down close, they had to settle for 3, couldn't get it in the end zone.
The aggravating piece is we have to do the things we're capable of doing. And that gets back to the things I touched on early in the year. And some of that reared its ugly head today as well, with guys not executing their responsibilities at time. And that's where we have to grow and get better. In all sides, don't want to point any fingers, but it's offense, defense, special teams. When we have plays that are there, we have to make them.
No, I'm cool. You know, it got punched out. You know, I wasn't prepared for that. You know, you already know I'm emotional and I care about this game. So, you know, behind closed doors, I'm about to work my butt off like 10 times harder than I have before, and will not happen again.
So the Cats have lost 2 in a row for the first time since the first 2 games of the season. But number 6 is out there. They'll be a big favorite next Saturday at Commonwealth Stadium against Austin Peay. Here at Neyland Stadium, Rob Bromley, WKYT Game Time.
Thank you, Rob. And would you take a look at these stats here? It's quite deceiving. If you just looked at the stats and didn't watch the football game, you might think the Kentucky Wildcats actually won. 635 total yards, 443 rushing. In fact, the Cats won just about every category on the stat sheet. Total plays, turnovers, even the time of possession battle, all in favor of Kentucky. But this is one of those rare games when maybe the stat sheet doesn't tell the complete story, as the only true stat that really matters at the end of the game is the numbers on the scoreboard, and those were in favor of Tennessee. Up next for Kentucky is Austin Peay. Today, the Governors hosting Eastern Kentucky, and EKU had it rolling early. First quarter, Tyler Swafford looking downfield to Devin Borders. 45-yard pass and catch for the touchdown. 2-point conversion made it 8-0 Colonels. Then in the second, now 11-0, EKU going to the ground game. Jared Sanders spins through the defense and gets a 16-yard touchdown to make it 18-0 EKU. Still in the second, now 25-7. Swafford looking for his tight end, Dan Crimmins. He's got him in the back of the end zone, and EKU gets a much-needed win over the winless Austin Peay Governors, 67-30. In 2 weeks, Kentucky will face Louisville tonight. The 6th-ranked Cardinals hosting Wake Forest. The Cards were held to a field goal in the first half, down 12-3. The handoff goes to Brandon Radcliffe, and he breaks free for a 55-yard touchdown. Louisville down just 2, 12-10. The Cards take their first lead in the fourth quarter. Once again, it's Radcliffe, this time from 7 yards out, to make it 16-12. And Radcliffe wasn't done. He adds a 19-yard scamper for a score later here in the fourth quarter. Louisville started slow, but they finished strong with a 44-12 win. Georgetown College looking to get a win on a chilly senior day. Under 3 minutes to play in the second quarter, and the Tigers strike first as Zach Harris gets the handoff and finds the end zone to make it 7-0. However, Pikeville would respond in the third as Bowen Smith finds Austin Prey 22 yards in the corner to knot it all up at 7. The game would later, though, go into overtime, and Pikeville kicked a 42-yard field goal to give the Bears the 10-7 win. While Louisville's Lamar Jackson is the Heisman frontrunner, Toledo's junior quarterback and former Franklin County product Logan Woodside has been notified by the Heisman Trophy Trust that he's a contender for the 2016 Heisman Trophy and a candidate to be one of the finalists for the award. The Heisman Trust will release its finalists for the Heisman Trophy on Monday, December the 5th. Through 10 games this season, Woodside leads the nation in touchdown passes with 37, and is third in the nation in passing efficiency. The UK women's team returned to the court tonight, looking to improve to 2-0 on the season. We'll have those highlights for you coming up next on Game Time. Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $73 million. A win over the 14th ranked team in the country is how the Kentucky women's basketball team began their season on Friday night. Not much time though to celebrate. However, the ladies back on the floor tonight hosting Albany. Albany's head coach Joanne Burnaby McNamee, the former head coach at U-Pike. Kentucky had a lead late in the second thanks to 15 first half points by Evelyn Akatur. It was a 36-19 Cats lead at intermission. Third quarter, Michaela Epps drives, kicks it out to Mackenzie Cann, and she cans the triple. The lead grows to 19. Final seconds of the third. The inbounds pass goes to Akatur. She gets the bucket and the foul. A game-high 28 points for Akatur. Epps was held without a field goal until the final 5 minutes of the game. Wildcats forced the steal, and Epps, she's going to lay it in on the other end, and Kentucky improves to 2-0 with a 70-46 win. The UK men's basketball team opened the season will open the season with 3 games in 5 days. And last night in the season opener, the Cats defeated Stephen F. Austin by 23 points. The Lumberjacks have been an NCAA tournament team out of the Southland Conference for 3 straight years. And John Calipari likes how his team was tested.
They came in and fought us now. There was no, they weren't giving us an inch. And we needed that kind of game. And Canisius is going to do the same. And then, the game in New York, Michigan State just lost. So we're going to be playing a mean dog up in New York. So these 3 games to start off the year against, or when we're a bunch of freshmen, it's going to be a rough go.
Got to watch out for those mean dogs. Wildcats are back on the court Sunday night hosting Canisius, part of a 3 games in 5-day stretch. Like we said, the game is at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. Undefeated Georgetown hosting Alice Lloyd this afternoon. Right out of the gate, Trent Gilbert hits a 3 to put the Tigers up. Nice 3 there by the Scott County product. Raymond Baldwin then decides to jump in with the NBA 3-pointer. And then a little bit later, Gilbert again burying one from beyond the arc with a little help from the glass. He called it. Georgetown gets the win 74-57. How about the Bengals? They need to get back on the winning track following a bye week. We'll talk about them next on Game Time. The Bengals return from a bye week to take on the Giants on Monday night. Cincinnati's last game in London ended in a tie, so the Bengals still need a win to get back to 500 on the year. And as every head coach will tell you, the bye week came at a good time.
I think it was a good opportunity to reset. We wish we reset it at 4-4, but we didn't. And so we got to move forward from here. But it came at a good time for us, in my opinion. I think they always do. And so, we have to take full advantage of it now coming out of here and go be next to perfect the second half.
And that's all the time we have. Good night, Kentucky.